Yep. Is it good for you?
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay. Um, Hello, Oscar. Nice to meet you. You're just arriving just as we start, so thank you for being here as well. So the agenda for the webinar. First, we will explain a bit what is Mergo and how to best use it for free, easy use cases. Like your imagination is the only limit, right? But we will begin with the three main use cases we think that will help you using the application. And then after explaining a bit quicker, quickly, sorry, what are the three use cases, we'll go deeper into each one of them. The first one using Gmail interface, the second one using the Google Sheets interface, and the third one for a Google Docs interface with more advanced design features. Okay, so first of all, what is Mergo and why use Mergo, and three use cases. So Mergo is a mail merge application, which means that you can use that to send mass email campaigns to people. And it's built on the new generation of Google add-ons. It means that it has been validated by the Google security team on their newer and newest security permissions, things like that. Okay, so there are three ways, three interfaces with which you can use Mergo. The first one is from Gmail. So as we will see for the first one, first example, it's the really the easiest way to use Mergo. It's the way to send one simple email to multiple recipients without customization, so without merging fields, for example, if you know what I mean. We'll see that later. And it helps you so send mass emails to people without having to get them all in CC, so they are all their own recipients, Okay, so that's the first kind of using Mergo. Second one is from Google Sheets. It's more to send a highly customized email campaign with several merge fields. It means that you can use what we call merge fields. I will explain, but you can use merge fields in Gmail to go and get data from Google Sheets to have a really customized email saying hello, name, last name, your campaign, your webinar session will be next week, the third, something like that, and everyone will get customized information. Okay, and from Google Docs, it's more to send really something with a better design. Actually, something like a newsletter, and that's the example I will explain. Yeah. Okay, so for the first example, as I told you, we'll start simple. We will try to send one same email without any customization to a list of users using the Gmail interface. Okay, so to do that, first we will go to the Gmail page and we will create the draft. Same thing as if you were going to send an email to someone. Okay, so I'm just going to go to my Gmail page, make it a bit bigger. Okay, and you click on compose here. It opens your draft and you just write your email, and I had one. Yeah, this is this one. So you write your subject, the body of your message, G-roll, thank you very much for installing our application. Really appreciate it. We would like to invite you to a webinar to explain you a bit how to use our application. Please fill this form. It's an example, but for example, it can be you had a conference and you want to send the slides to a group of people, and it's really the application you can have. Okay, and once you're done with your draft, you click here on the side panel on the Mergo icon here that you should have, and you have mail merge here. So you click on mail merge, and okay, and here you have the options for your campaign. You have the option to select your Gmail draft. So normally it takes the last one you created. Um, it's not the right one for me because I just took an older one, but make sure it is the right subject. So my subject here is please attend the Mergo webinar. So I'm just going to go here and select the right one. So please attend the Mergo webinar. So I selected the right draft. Okay, then I can add the recipients. So when I click on the add recipient button, I have three options. I can add the recipients from a Google Sheets, from a Microsoft Excel or CSV file, or just add them manually. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Actually, here it's not a template emails, it's just template drafts, I'm sorry, it's just draft that you have in your mailbox, okay? So here I have training Mergo, please attend, reminder, it's just all the drafts I have here in my drafts, okay? So if I create another draft with session on the 10th of February, here after a bit of a refresh, I think. Yeah, I have another one here on the list. Okay, so it's not a list of templates, it's the list of your drafts. Okay, so when I click on the button add recipients here, I have three options, the Google Sheet, the Microsoft Excel, or add them manually. Just to show you, if you click on add manually, you have a field here on which you can just add the email addresses as you would do normally. So just as if you were adding it here, you just have to add it here and it works fine. And it works really the same if you add it here. Okay, so there's it works the same. So people won't see don't click on send here, obviously, but if you put the list here instead and then use here and send, it will work the same. Okay. So I was here. I'm just going to do another try with another option that is more interesting. Okay, so I have the please attend and the add recipients here. Okay, so as I told you, recipients can also be added in a Gmail draft. That's the thing I just told you. And if you add people from a Google Sheet, it's a bit more interesting. If you add people from a Google Sheet, it's going to ask me what is the Google Sheet. And I have one which is called Mergo Training. So, the pop-up is here. So Mergo Training here, select, and it's asking me what is the sheet I want to get the email from, and we see that I'm going to zoom a bit. We see that I have two sheets. The first one here. Okay, so I have the first one here, which is form responses 1, and the second one with example. So for example, if I want to send my draft to the 4 people here on this form, I'm just going to go here and select the right sheet. So it's form responses 1 here, form responses 1, and I save. And as a second option, it will just ask me what is the email column on which they will get the email address. Okay, so here I'm going back to my example, and I have the B column, which is email, with all the emails here, and I just have to select this one. So this is the one selected. Okay, so the application gets that the only column with email addresses, like at something.com, is the email one, the B one, so it automatically selects this one. Okay, okay, so we see that now the sheet is linked, so everything is fine. The Gmail draft is selected, the sheet is linked, the email column with the reception is selected as well. And now you can modify your sender name if you want to. I can, for example, send for the Mergo support, for example. And I can track my campaign and see what is opened and other things. So when everything is set up, I just hit send. And you'll see the next step, which is the progress. We see that now it's 0 out of 4. I just hit refresh here, and we see 3 out of 4. And just once more. Yeah, merge completed. So my campaign is sent. And so now you can either click on the link to the sheet to see the statistics, or you can see here who opens, who clicks, who responded, who unsubscribed if you added an unsubscribed link, or what email bounced means hasn't been received by the recipient. So for example, a typo on the email address, things like that. Okay, so as an example, I'm just going to go back to my sheet, and I see here, thank you, colleague. I see that all the emails have been sent, and colleague here opened the email and clicked on the link. Okay, so we have sent here and clicked for the colleague. And if I go to mine and I just, open mine, normally, here you see opened 2, clicked 1 because I didn't click on the link, and here I'm opened. Okay, so what we can say is that here on the interface itself you have visually the statistics, but you can't see who opened and who clicked. And if you go to the spreadsheet, you have the information row by row, so it's very useful. Okay, so that's it for the Gmail. How is the unsubscribe? Yeah, okay. So you have, if you are, yep. When you are building your campaign, just before sending it, you have here more options. You can just click on more options, and you have a bunch of more options, right? And one is add unsubscribe link. Simple as that. So if they click on that, they will be marked as unsubscribed, and if there's I don't know, like some follow-up emails that you want to send, they will be opted out from the campaign. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just going to answer all the other questions at the end, because otherwise I won't have time to finish, if it's okay for you. So that's it for the unsubscribe. Now for the Google Sheets. Let's make it a bit more advanced. We want to send an email with some customization, so basic customization for name and surname, for example, to a list of users. And the example will be, I have a list of users that answered to a form concerning a webinar. So it's basically your example, right? and that's the one I screwed up yesterday, and I sent some emails, right? Um, sorry for that. So yeah, the example is you answered a form, so I got your emails and I want to send you a reminder about that. And I want to send you the reminder 7 days before the webinar. Okay, so how will we do that? What we have first. So we have this. We have a sheet with your emails. Okay, so now it's fake emails, but you get it. So email addresses for recipients. You have the first names, the last names, the date of the webinar, the time of the webinar, of the session, and you have just one column I added is just to do a quick calculation with the formula to have 7 days prior to the session. It's just like that. So when the session is on February the 10th, I'm just calculating 7 days before in order to tell Mergo, okay, at this date you have to send the email. Okay, so it's a bit pointless here because February the 3rd is already passed, but you get the idea. Okay, so now we see that we have the columns and how will it be used. So the email addresses will be used as recipients, as we just did with Gmail, and the other columns will be data that will be called by Gmail thanks to what we call merge fields. Okay, so how will we do that? First, you go to Gmail, okay, same thing as before, and you create a draft. Same thing as before, it's really the same thing. I have one here. Okay, so you create your draft, you have the subject, you have the body, and there's something that changes is the merge fields. Okay, so basically a merge fields is calling the column name. Okay, and by calling the column name, Gmail will go and get the data properly in the sheet that is linked. Okay, so you create your draft, you put the subject, you put the body with the merging fields with first name here because we want to get the first name, last name as well because we want to get this information. Then we look forward to seeing you on date at time, and we're just going to get date here at time, so date of the session and time of the session, and it's done. And it's as simple as that. Okay, so now you go back to Google Sheets here. So you have your draft, you have your body with the merging fields. So you go back to the sheet with all your data, and quite the same thing as before. You click on Mergo on the side panel. Yeah, you click on Mergo on the side panel here. You click on Merge here. Okay, and you, same thing as before. My subject is reminder, don't forget our webinar, so I'm just going to select it. Okay, so reminder, don't forget our webinar, this is good. Then email colon, same thing as before. Mergo is just asking me what column is the one with the email addresses, so it's this one. So email example is fine. I can still change the sender name. Okay, and I can still activate the tracking here. Just something that can help you out. There's only 4 emails to send here, and you can think it's a bit weird because I have a lot of email addresses here. But the thing is, since I already sent emails to some people and I only have 4 to which I didn't send an email, Mergo says that I can just continue my campaign and send 4 emails here. Okay, but you can always send a new campaign to these people. Okay, so send a name here. Okay, and you could press send 4 emails here, but it will be a mistake for now because we want to plan the delivery. We want to schedule a delivery, and that's the thing I didn't do well yesterday. So in order to schedule the delivery, you will just go to more options here and click on schedule delivery here. Okay. You have some options. There's tomorrow 8 a.m., tomorrow 1 p.m., and select hour and date. This is fixed time for all the people. So if you select either of the three, it will be the same date for everyone, and that's not what we want because we want customized. We want to send the email 7 days before the session, and some people have the session on the 10th and some people have the session on the 17th. Okay, so the date here won't be the same. So for that, we select row by row here. You select row by row, and you see that an email is sent when the date in colon merge date is reached. So we have the colon merge date here. Okay, so the name has to be that. And when Mergo sees that the date here is reached, automatically it will send the email to the people. Okay, so that's pretty useful when you have a lot of training sessions. For example, for a lot of people, you want to send a reminder to thousands of people, and they all have some different scheduling. So it's really useful for that. Okay, and everything will be automatic. Just a quick thing on the more options. You have the view draft, which means that it just opens the draft here for you to see. You have the send a test email for myself to myself, and that's something you might want to use more often than not to prevent some mistakes, right? You can schedule delivery and unsubscribe link. That's already something I told you about. You can set CC and BCC columns, same thing as email example, for example. If I click on that, it will ask me what is the CC column and what is the BCC column. So if I want to add CC and BCC columns, I can just create 2 other columns and add the emails here and select here. Okay, so simple as that. And you can also set aliases and reply to. If you have aliases and you want to use your alias to send, or if you want the reply to be different. For example, if you want to send the email from yourself, but they want them to reply to support, it's possible. Okay. And that's it for Sheet, because once you have done everything I just told you about, you schedule the campaign and everything will be set up. Afterwards, it's really the same thing as before. You see who opened, who clicked, who responded and all, and you can track with the statistics in the sheet directly. Okay, now the third example and the last example, it's for newsletter, for example. So you're using Mergo from Google Docs, and you're using that when the design needs to be better with no customization, because you can't use the merging fields. So you can say hello, name and surname. Everyone will get the same information, but a more designed way. Okay, so for the example, we will use a template of a newsletter that we designed for a partner of us. and we want to automate the delivery of this template to this newsletter, sorry, to a list of users. So for that, we just go to the Google Doc itself. Okay, so that's my doc. You click on Mergo on the side, and you have Convert Doc to Draft here. So you click on this button, and you have the button View Gmail Draft. It means that it worked well, and you can see that the draft has been created and everything looks the same. We can see here. Okay, so yeah, the draft is here and it looks great. Just one tips, if you're using a newsletter here in Google Docs, be careful to sorry, be careful to put the images and text in tables, because this way, when it will be converted to draft, everything will be the layout will be well aligned, you know, like the left and the right, everything will be fine because you have a table, and it can't be on the left or on the right. Okay, so that's a quick tip. And just one thing too, if you want to share this template to some users on your domain, for example, so if you have your newsletter and you want it to be available to other users, you click on template gallery here, and you can submit your doc as a template. So you just click on submit doc as a template, as I already did, and it will be here. Okay, and it will, okay, so this is blocked. And yeah, and it will be first available for only yourself. Okay, so you see that it's available on Gmail now. It will be first available for yourself only because it will use the sharing rights that you have on your documents. So if you manage your sharing rights, saying all the domains has access to the documents, your template will be accessible for all the domains as well. Okay, and once you have converted your doc to Gmail draft, you can click on Mail Merge, the same thing as before. Add the recipients is really the same thing as before, and then send your emails. Okay, and you can do that from your Google Doc itself or from the Gmail interface using your draft as before. So Mail Merge, you make sure that the training Mergo here is selected with your newsletter, and it's the same thing. Okay, one little information is that today we tend to use the Google Docs interface to create newsletters because we don't have any other thing in Gmail to do so. But in the near future, Google said that they will be releasing a new advanced draft editor within Gmail, so you might not need to use Google Docs for that in the future. But you know, with Google, it can come this year or in 2 years. So it's always great to learn how to do otherwise. Also, if you like scripted, if you like Mergo, I'm sorry, make sure to go and check the other add-ons that we created, which is called Publigo for document merge, and Folgo for more drive-oriented features. So copy, transfer, inspect folders. You can also mass transfer ownerships for some folders, so it's really convenient when you need to. Okay, so thank you everyone for your attention, for being here with us today.